All right, looks like we're live.
1 second.
Ready, Amy?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, looks like we're live. Whoever is watching the live, make sure you mute that.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I think that's me. Okay.
All right, looks like we're live. Still not muted. Who's watching the live, make sure you mute that.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I think that's me.
Amy, it's probably on YouTube where you have the screen up. You just need to mute the YouTube screen. Watching the live, make sure you mute that.
You are muted. Okay.
Think we're good?
I think so.
Okay. All right, let's call this session to order and begin by saying the Pledge of Allegiance in our various locations.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
to the flag
of the United
of
States of
the
America and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which it stands,
and
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, let's recess into solid waste.
I move to approve the minutes, June 18, 2020.
I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move to approve the June 25th, 2020 bills as presented by the county auditor.
I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move to approve the June 25th, 2020 journal vouchers as presented by the county auditor.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move to approve the June 25th, 2020 then and now certification as presented by the county auditor.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes. Bill, you're up.
All right.
Processing RFP?
Yeah, the processing RFP. Our processing contract with Waste Management runs out November 12th. I've drafted up a set of specifications. I've sent them to Joanne and Jean to review. It's my goal that next week I will bring the resolution to the board to send out the RFP. Joanne does all the RFPs, so it made sense for her since she'll be the point person for the questions and the RFPs. And as always, I appreciate Jean's look at them. The way I look at it is the more eyes on the document, the better the document going out. So I'm just letting the board know that that will be going, or that will be coming in front of you. Brimfield Township, just an update. They have scheduled a meeting today at 3 o'clock to discuss recycling. And I would imagine one of us will tune in and see what's going on, see what their decision is. Once we know what they've decided, I will send out an email to all three commissioners, Jean, and let everybody know what they have decided.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
Going back to the request for proposal for waste management real quick, it just reminded me, I had a call yesterday from a Ritztown resident wanting to know, how do we know for sure that everything's being recycled and not put in the landfill? I mean, how do you track that?
We have GPS on all the trucks, and I know that every time that Fox 8 does something on the city of Cleveland, we
Yeah,
kind of get drawn into that because the first time they did
Exactly.
that, they actually put one of the GPS devices in a cart in Streetsboro. And I think what happened is when the driver packed the truck, he smashed their GPS unit. So it registered nothing, but that and our contract with Green Star / Waste Management specifically says nothing that is considered recyclable can be put into a landfill without the written consent of the Portage County commissioners. The only thing that goes to the landfill is non-recyclable stuff. The
Yeah.
people put in yard waste and stuff like that. So we're kind of protected both ways.
Okay, because I had a resident call me yesterday, and it probably spurred from something from Cleveland.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Even though Cleveland supposedly collects recycling, it all goes to the Lorain County landfill because they have a contamination rate of about 68%.
yeah, and that was the other question, was because we have contamination with like garbage being put in there. I'm assuming that would be removed and
Yeah,
taken to the
that is
landfill.
removed, and the drivers are very aggressive. If they can catch it before it goes into the truck, about tagging the carts and leaving it and explaining what's wrong with the cart.
Okay. Back to Brimfield. How much was it costing the county? Was it like 12,000 a month to provide that service to Brimfield without,
I
For
think it was more like 6,000. I'd have to run the numbers again.
yeah, because my question is if they do not agree to a contract, how is that going to impact us? Because obviously we have employees on that route. We have loan payments for trucks and carts that service that route. And with the loss of the revenue, it's not just we don't service them and we're okay. We're made whole. So how is that going to impact our budget
Well,
for the loss of revenue?
Well, I'm working on some things that may move some assets around. It's just nothing that I'm prepared to discuss with the board right now. We're looking at it internally, whether they stay or whether they choose not to stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it just concerns me. I mean, it's more than, okay, we could lose customer base, because obviously we generate revenue to cover other items there. And
Right.
how big of a hole is that going to leave for us?
Mhm.
I'd like you to get back to me on that if you
Right.
could. I'm sure you have a good idea of that. So
Right.
if you could today before 3 o'clock, I would
Okay.
appreciate it.
Sure.
Don't sound so enthused, Bill.
Sorry, I'm trying to write and listen at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
All right. That's all that I have.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep, thank you.
Bill.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
See ya.
Yep,
I'll
see
hear
ya.
from you later, Bill.
Yep.
Thanks.
We have a motion to adjourn solid waste.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes. Great, let's reconvene our general session, and water resources is up. Jean?
He's muted.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
My hand works quicker than the mouse. We have a couple of issues. One is additional credit on an easement for the Chin allotment. And this is kind of an odd one. In most cases, the easement runs parallel to a property line, and the proposed information that's been provided and approved by the board before was to give a trunk credit to that property owner. And that's an equitable deal. This
Yeah.
particular easement actually goes along the property line and then turns across the property to connect to another property where we then continue south. The problem is it is not apples to apples. So the difference is about $110 that the property owner would request that we could provide them. And I support that 100%. And that would come back as a non-standard, but a special request for the board when we're ready to approve those easements. All the rest of them would be covered under the previously approved methodology of giving a trunk credit. And this one would be that trunk credit plus another I think it's $106. That makes them feel like they're whole, and it's considerably less expensive than a $2,000 evaluation through the entire appraisal process. So I support that wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Great. We don't have any action on that today, right, Jean? So we could move
No
to
action.
No.
They'll all
Okay.
come up as a group.
Okay, so you can
Okay.
go ahead and move to the next discussion item, the Route 43 nursing home proposal.
There was some discussion back and forth. The service areas that were generated between the city of Kent and Portage County are different for water and sewer.
Mhm.
The Portage County service area for water goes all the way to Malloy Road along 43, and the sewer area stops short of Malloy Road. So what the intent is to swap those two service areas and allow the city of Kent to provide water to the property, and we would provide sewer. So in essence, instead of selling water to the nursing home, we'd be selling sewer service. And instead of Kent selling sewer service, I'll be selling water service. Kent's right there with water at the corner. So it's actually on the south side of Malloy Road. So it's from a developer standpoint, it's a perfect solution. And ultimately the county and Brimfield benefits because of the increased tax base. So we'd support moving forward with that swap by sending the city of Kent a letter notifying them that they should proceed with providing the water service. And then we'll do the 208 map revision to include that area in this Portage County for sanitary sewer service.
Okay.
Makes
And this is
sense.
journal entry number 1, Jean, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into a general sewer agreement for sanitary sewer improvements to Meadowview subdivision, Phase 3, Portage County Water Resources Department, project number ST-420-020-P.
Okay, I will second.
Jean, these are all standard, right? You don't have any comments on these resolutions?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into a general sewer agreement for sanitary sewer improvements to Meadowview subdivision, Phase 14, Portage County Water Resources Department, project number ST-420-030-P.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners approves a request from Billy L. Cleary, Sr. and Marjorie A. Cleary for installment payments of connection charges for connections to the sanitary sewage system in the Portage County Regional Sewer District and establishing the terms and conditions of the same.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners approve Portage County Wastewater Resources to send a letter to the City of Kent stating they will not provide public water service to the proposed 90-bed nursing home on Malloy and State Route 43 in Brimfield Township and will provide sanitary sewer service as provided for in the two entities. Service area agreements approved by resolution number 02-0890 and 03-0582.
I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes. Okay.
So Janet's not coming today, Amy?
Yeah, she should be on the call.
Oh, because I got a thing that said canceled
Let's
Janie.
stand at ease for a moment while we wait for Janet to dial in.
She is.
Morning, Janet.
Morning.
Good
Hey,
morning.
We are ready for you when you are.
Okay. All right. Well, I have only one agenda topic to discuss, and that would be the flu clinic this year. We usually hold a flu vaccine clinic in the fall, usually around October. The last couple years has been with our wellness fair, and obviously we will not be having our wellness fair this year. But we still wanted to see, should we still offer the flu vaccine clinic to the employees? And this clinic offers vaccinations to all Portage County employees, regardless if they have our insurance or not. So really the question is only because of the COVID pandemic. Should we still have it in our building this fall or and the other suggestion would be, now the Portage County Health District, you could go there and get the vaccination, or you could go to one of the other locations that they hold or that they offer the vaccinations. We typically try to have an administration building more for the convenience for the employees.
Mhm.
That's really the now.
Janet, do they make appointments to come down or is it just stop by the room?
It usually is stop by. However, that is something that we could say that's going to be different for this year.
Yeah.
Because I even thought if we would have an administration building, we would obviously mark off like the 6 feet social distancing, require anybody and everybody that wants the vaccination to wear a mask. We could also do the
Which they're
appointments.
already required to do.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, that is something new that we could try for the appointments this year. But usually it's just kind of a walk-in, like you stay in a line.
Janet, have you talked to the health department about this? Because I'm assuming they would be taking temperatures and stuff as well for the vaccination clinic, or?
I know Susan has been the one that's talked directly to the health
Oh, okay.
department. I could find out to be sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
again, that could be something else that we could also put in place too. Just check people's temperatures before they.
See what their criteria is to even come here. They may not want to do it here, or maybe just have them do appointments only at their clinic. So
I do know they're
But-
okay with coming to the administration building because that's
they
why
are. Okay, good.
Yeah, because
Okay,
that's why I'm come forward with the question.
okay.
My inclination is that we continue it because I think that even
Mhm.
more than typical years, I think the flu vaccine is important this year and recommended. I think for immune purposes on COVID as well, even though it's not a COVID vaccine, it helps keep people healthy and stronger against warding it off. So I'd like to be able to continue to provide it. We still have a number of employees on site, and it would be a nice convenience for them. So I think we continue it, and I think, Janet, if you could think of some ways that we could do it, perhaps in this new situation we find ourselves in, more safely, perhaps with an appointment calendar, and the things that you've already talked about. I think that would be beneficial to our workers.
Okay, yep, absolutely. I would agree. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because we do have a lot of, quite a few employees that take advantage of this. They do. It's very convenient. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll work with the health department to make sure it's done safely, and I'll see what else they would, if they have any other ideas,
Mhm.
require as well. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. So that's actually all I had.
Thank you,
Oh,
Jen.
That was easy.
It's pretty quick.
thanks, Janet.
Thanks so
All right,
much,
thank you.
Janet. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Got Joanne next.
Let's stand at ease briefly and wait for Joanne.
Hello?
Hi, Joanne.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Joanne.
I have one resolution for you today. It's time to do the annual bridge inspections for the county engineer. And they sought proposals, and the county engineer would like you to accept the proposal of John Wackerly Inspection for doing 164 bridges at $70 a bridge.
Okay.
Move that the Board of Commissioners accepts the proposal from John Wackerly Inspection LLC for providing professional services for the Portage County 2020 Annual Bridge Inspection Program.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes. Thank you, Joanne.
Thanks so
That
much.
was quick.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Bye.
Is that Todd's number?
What?
Not sure what Todd's number is. Somebody's.
It's like a 235, I think.
Okay.
It might be
Yeah.
Susan Rand. I think
Kelly,
that's-
Morning.
Oh, Sue.
Good morning.
Hi, couldn't get in on video again. It keeps asking me for a screen name and weird things. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. That's okay too.
I tried 2 different ways and it still goes back to asking me for a screen name and my email address. And I'm not sure why.
You know, mine's doing that as well. It might be something we check with IT.
Okay, I'll ask Shannon after this. I'll tell her what it's doing.
Okay.
It wasn't doing it before, just the last 2 meetings it's done it to me, so.
Mhm.
I don't know. Are you ready?
Yep.
We are.
Okay, we have 2 resolutions today. The first one is our regular shared cost resolution for our child welfare levy for the shared costs that get paid out of our public assistance fund. So this is the second payment for second quarter state fiscal year 2020 in the amount of $100,000 from public assistance to child welfare to public assistance.
Okay.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to transfer 100,000 from Fund 1415, Child Welfare Special Levy Fund, to Fund 1410, Public Assistance Fund.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Okay, and then the second one is our regular RMS costs that come out of the Public Assistance Fund originally, and the WIA fund pays back. This is for adjustments for March and April, and then the first payment for May from the Fund 1413 to 1410 in the amount of $48,272.79.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agree to transfer 48,000 to 72.79 from Fund 1413 WIA Fund to Fund 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
All right, that's it for me.
Thanks, Sue.
Thanks, Sue.
Guys, have a good weekend.
You too.
Are you guys ready for me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. If we want to start with the bill run, fairly normal numbers this week. Last couple of weeks, we had some light ones. Last week, we had a really heavy one. This one's fairly normal. There are no late fees, which are good. The then and nows are pretty standard items that couldn't have been avoided. There is a debt wire transfer in addition, but otherwise nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, June 25, 2020 bills, ACH payments as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, June 25, 2020 wire transfers for health benefits as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, June 25, 2020 journal vouchers as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve the Thursday, June 25, 2020 then and now certification as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Do you have any comments on number 5, Todd? Should I just go ahead?
No, hold on.
Yeah. Todd?
Can you hear us, Todd?
Oh, whoops, I'm sorry, my mute was on. I'm over here
That's
talking to
okay.
myself. That's just the debt wire for OWDA, which is 3 water resource projects. 2 of them are special assessment projects that go back like 15 years. And then the last item on the list is the loan that Solid Waste took out, I think 2 or 3 years ago now to purchase some additional trucks.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve a wire transfer to Ohio Water Development Authority Services, approved and certified to the Portage County Auditor for payment.
I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to amend the non-general fund 2020 annual appropriation resolution number 19-0948, adopted December 19, 2019.
Todd, did you have anything on that?
No, the big item on there is for the clerk of courts, and that is generally the amount that she declares as excess and returns to the county's general fund. So I believe she is getting that in place. I don't think we've seen the letter for that amount yet, but a letter should be coming shortly with her declaring that in excess funds. That's from her auto title operation.
Yeah. Okay, I'll second.
Can you also talk about the 29,000? This
Yeah,
11704.
LPEC, that's for Ryan to do some of the programs he's doing and do the transfers. So that's getting ready to set that up.
Okay. All right, sorry. Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Hey, Todd, do we just have one add-on resolution?
Well, is Jean on? I had a create fund and a general fund budget that aren't in my portion of the agenda. I think the create fund was going under the county administrator, and I'm not sure where the general fund ended up, but those 2 I had turned in late. The Create Fund is for the CARES.
Mhm.
And then
We
the,
had the add-on, we
Yes,
have an add-on that didn't get on the agenda that let's go ahead and do.
For the microfilm,
Yes. Do you have
Okay.
that, Vicki?
yes. Move to amend the general fund 2020 annual appropriation resolution number 19-0947, adopted December 19, 2019.
okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes,
Kathleen.
Yes.
Do you want to go ahead and speak to that Create Fund, Todd or Jean or someone?
yeah, we're the CARES money finally got all through the state. They actually sent the auditor. The way that's going to work, the auditor got an allocation from the state for all the jurisdictions within the county. Each jurisdiction within the county then has to apply for their share, which we actually already did last week. Now that the money's there, we need a fund to put our share into, and that's what this fund is doing. So the money that goes into this fund will be our share of that CARES money to spend however we decide.
okay.
Move to,
Todd, how much funding is there?
You know what? I got to double check. The state distributed 350 million. So I'm guessing that our share is going to be maybe $1.5 million, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen the allocation that we actually got yet. So I don't know.
Can you give us an update next week on the amount that we have, how it's being dispersed through the LGF formula locally? And then also just what our progress is on being able to expend the funds, because I know we've been working with all our departments and elected officials on submitting for those funds, and it'd be helpful to just get a sense of where we are and if we'll be able to use those, and strategically what we may need to do if we still have funds.
Yeah, I think we are going to have excess. Jean and I have been talking. We have the public assistance funds that we're also getting items ready for. I'll be honest, very few departments have turned in anything yet. That doesn't mean it isn't out there, but I will send a reminder again, trying to get that data collected. Jean and I have been talking about, where we see some of the money could be going, that type of thing. I can tell you the big caveat is going to be the Board of Elections and getting ready for the November election. We should probably meet with them sooner rather than later to see if they are going to need to do purchases. I don't know if they're going to need plexiglass partitions or those type of things, but that could be a considerable expense that the CARES, I believe, would qualify for, since we hadn't had it budgeted prior. So that's one aspect that we need to get going on. But yes, I can give you for sure the amount of money that is transferred via CARES. In terms of what the county's actually spent yet or not spent, that information is slow to come in yet. I mean, I have an idea of some things that were spent, but not all.
Okay.
I think too, I know these conversations are happening, but departments may need more of a nudge or an explainer about what can be submitted, and I think we should help them with that so that we take advantage fully of expending these funds. I mean, it's unfortunate that they can't be spent, it's all COVID related and none of it is revenue replacement, but it seems like there's been a lot of need for this. So I would hate to lose out on any of it, or for a department to just not think through something that was COVID related that we could use these funds for, because we didn't help them or work with them on it.
Right. And I know Ryan's been reaching out. We can try again. One thing I've been stressing to everyone is if you're not sure, turn it in. Let's not pre-police ourselves on the underfunding side. Let's turn it in and let the state reject it. You know, what's the worst that happens is we're still where we were. But anyway, we'll keep working on that. I know there is a little bit of overlap between the CARES and the EMA public assistant, but there's also some fringes on the outside of each where this one can cover this, but the other can't, and the other one can cover that, but this one can't. We're honestly still working through the CARES. It's a quagmire of what the writing actually says versus what they're telling people they can do. So even we're still trying to learn some of this stuff.
I think from yesterday's Office of Budget Management webinar, Todd and I both went to, there were a lot of particular points that could become eligible for us. Example is cleaning buildings and so forth. But until all that gets sorted out at the state level, we should track, but we just have to wait and see how it all sorts out.
How will we determine the EMA funds? It seems like there would be overlap, but what's the timing as far as getting the EMA funds?
For all of it, it's like October-ish. Again, my recommendation is that everybody just turn in everything that they can to myself, Gene, and Ryan, and let us sort which grant we submit reimbursement under. In fact, the CARES grant, we've been told, but nobody will put it in writing, we've been told that the CARES money can be used as the 25% match on the public assistance funding. But again, if it's any way related to the fact that COVID came along, either we had to schedule extra shifts, we had to buy extra stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm encouraging everyone to turn that into us. Don't worry about which grant it's under. We'll sort that out as we turn in for reimbursement.
All right, that sounds good. And I think just the more ways you can spread that message, the better. And I'll do my best too as I'm talking to folks. I know I had a long conversation with the Board of Elections about some of their expenses, and you know, on our elected officials call, we can emphasize that. So let's keep trying to get that out there.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of this is due October-ish with the election in November. Again, I'd like to see if there are some purchases, I suspect that there are going to be, that we get those in early so that they can be refunded under these grants for the Board of Elections for the November election. I assume they've started planning that.
They definitely have, and they've reached out. I know that they've been working with Ryan. So I think we can work with them on this, and there will be some stuff that these funds will be applicable to. I also know, Todd, and this may be something for you to investigate. I saw something maybe in a CCAO notice about the controlling board approving CARES funds for election related expenses. And I don't know if I would recommend just checking into that. Terry and Faith probably know this, but just something for us to have, that there was some type of special approval, and I'm not sure what that would have been for, but let's take advantage of it if we can.
Yeah, I'll look into that. Like I said, they what's actually written versus what they're interpreting and putting out is changing almost daily. But we're trying to be on top of it.
During yesterday's presentation, right at the start of the presentation, a new update came from the federals relative to this issue. And so they said what we say now may change here in an hour. So it's constantly dynamic. But the drop dead date is actually for unspent funds to be returned is December 8th. And the reference to October is any money that we don't spend or have committed to spend. So actually it's our drop dead date, gets redistributed to people who have excess expenses. So it is October 22nd. Wow. Yeah.
I doubt that will happen, but if there's a chance, we could maybe get some of those extra funds if other people aren't using them, but I would hope everybody's taking advantage. I guess something to think about.
And everything we do with these dollars are subject to the federal audit. So it's going to be
Right.
inspected, I'm sure.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can we hang on a second and I can bring Ryan in? One of the
Absolutely.
Did we
next
do-
issues.
Do you want us to,
Is that,
we did not do your
Go ahead.
journal entry,
No,
Todd.
and then, yeah, so you have the CARES create, that's what started this conversation. We didn't pass that. And then we have the journal entries. And then if you had any questions on the tax budget.
Okay, move to create Fund 1500 CARES Relief.
okay, I will second.
Jean, you didn't want to, did you want to wait on Ryan for that? This
No, that's
resolution?
fine.
Okay. Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
We got
Move that the
journal.
board- Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to sign the satisfaction of mortgage form for Christopher E. Ironman, 6341 Wall Street, Ravenna, Ohio, to secure payment of $6,000. The original document will be recorded by Neighborhood Development Services, Inc. Documents reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management with no exceptions noted.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agrees to sign the satisfaction of mortgage form for Christopher E. Ironman, 6341 Wall Street, Ravenna, Ohio, to secure payment of $19,275.00. The original document will be recorded by Neighborhood Development Services, Inc. Documents reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management with no exceptions noted.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Move that the Board of Commissioners agree to sign the United States Bankruptcy Court Northern District of Ohio proof of claims as presented by the Department of Budget and Finance for unpaid water and/or sewer bills as follows.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes. Before we do this journal entry, Todd, can you just give us a brief update of where we are in the tax budget process and any changes
Yeah.
to what was distributed to us over this week from last meeting?
Yeah, the only change in the general fund form was updating the property tax amount. And that
Great.
was to meet the auditor's recommendations. It fell from 697 to 660 or something, or I'm sorry, 6,900,000 to 6,600,000, which really isn't that impactful a change. That was the only thing on the general fund budget. And then of course the non-general, you guys received yesterday along with the solid waste. There's nothing really out of the ordinary in terms of what people submitted from requests versus what we've seen in prior years regarding those funds.
Are we ready for the journal entry? Any questions?
Nope.
Move that the Board of Commissioners authorizes the tax budgets, county and solid waste management district to be on display for public review in the Board of Commissioners office and the county auditor's office beginning June 25, 2020 through July 9, 2020, as presented by Department of Budget and Financial Management Director Todd Bragg.
I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
There's Ryan. You there, Ryan?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if my video is working, is it?
No, it isn't.
No, but we can hear you.
Okay. I'm
You
trying to,
may be able to get your video working in the bottom corner, Ryan, where there's the video feature. You're muted, Gene.
Looking
There you
at
go.
Ryan as an attendee, he doesn't
There
have
he
it.
is.
There you go.
Ah,
Hey, Ryan.
magic.
Hey, how we doing? Okay,
Good.
so I guess I'm up then.
You're up.
Okay, so not, so obviously not the most opportune time to have to submit a request for a budget. Obviously, the EMA office is a little different than everybody as we start over July 1 and then go to June 30th, 2021. So hopefully you had a chance to review the budget memo. There was a couple things to consider. One of those things was the Orion damage assessment project, and we did decrease some line items where we could because there was a little bit of an increase for that. And then there was a little bit of an increase for salary for Brett, the new deputy director, but a decrease in health benefits. So a little bit of an off balance there. Overall, it was probably a nominal decrease to the overall general fund transfer request. We did receive quite a bit more than expected from the LEPC. So I'm pretty excited about that. And hopefully that continues to go up as we continue to grow in Portage County with the LEPC. So I believe what we were looking for today with Gene, myself, and then Todd was to have a verbal agreement, of course, after discussion, to approve the budget as is, and then we would come revisit with you again next week to pass the formal resolution. The negative in the EMA realm is we typically don't find out our grant award until late August, if not September, which makes it very difficult to budget because there's a lot of unknowns. I did send a request down to Ohio EMA to determine exactly if we were going to get an increase this year in EMPG because we have always overexpended our grant funds each year. And I have not received any notice on that. So they're going to communicate to me as early as possible if we are going to get an increase because they do a 3-year formula and we surpass our grant amount each year. And there's counties that don't expend all their grant awards. So hopefully we see an increase this year. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that, but it's a little bit of an unknown going into the fall. So I guess I'm going to turn the floor open for discussion regarding the EMA budget.
Ryan, can you talk a little bit about the benefit of this software that you're looking to procure and why that is needed and what benefit it might bring to the county?
Sure. So each time we have a storm event, whether wind damage, tornado, microburst, macroburst, or flooding, we typically go out and do damage assessments of the damage. This software program streamlines those estimates out. It automatically ties our tax assessment data to the homes that we're assessing. So it immediately starts populating total loss and streamlines the process to FEMA in the event we meet any threshold for disaster recovery. So not only is it good in the sense from a county program, it's actually for everybody countywide. So that includes townships, villages, and cities. Right now on the public assistance side, which is what enticed us so much to get the system, is every time we have a washed out road, a culvert, a bridge damage, something that happens during a storm, the FEMA public assistance program is it's too much to go down a month and a half later and try to find out who was working on that site, what's the overtime cost, what's the estimated materials, what were the contracts you bought for excavators, things of that. Having that app downloaded right now to your phone, as soon as someone goes to the site, they can immediately start taking pictures and start doing estimate and total losses. And then it takes that data and automatically populates it right to the FEMA public assistance form. They don't have to do anything. So different states and regions, I know Alaska was one that had a huge earthquake. They're seeing a 5 to 10% return in public assistance dollars because you're already tracking that information immediately during a storm. And then last year, obviously, we had significant flash flooding events, both in Manaway Village and Rootstown Township. And we knew we weren't going to meet to a threshold because they're against the entire county, but getting the information was beyond difficult. And it really makes it hard, especially in some of our more rural communities that aren't resource rich with personnel and equipment and materials. So anything that can help streamline the FEMA programs, as you're seeing right now with the FEMA public assistance program, as we're trying to consolidate some of these forms, is the better. And overall cost was relatively low to have a countywide program as such. So obviously a little bit of an insurance program. We hope nothing bad ever happens, but nonetheless, it would really help to have that program.
Ryan, I have a question on the next item. The decrease in the vehicle maintenance line at 5,000. Can you explain a little more behind that? Because I know at one point in time, there was big concerns with keeping up with the maintenance on your equipment and stuff. Can you just give me an idea as to where we come up from there?
So that's kind of a hit and miss each year. Lucky, 6 years ago when we came on board, a lot of the equipment we had some significant maintenance issues, large expenses, welding that was $3 or $4 grand, engine replacement, transmission, electrical issues with the generators on the command post, a lot of things that were just band-aided over the years. So obviously with the budget we had, we couldn't kind of do everything at once. So over the last 6 years, we kind of just picked away at it. And we got a lot of those large maintenance concerns taken care of. So each year, since then, probably about the last 2 years, we've been well under budget in vehicle maintenance. That includes this year. And hopefully doing those annual safety inspections, it helps mitigate some of those catastrophic failures.
Okay.
So we're in a good sense. Obviously, that's a risk. It's just hit and miss. There's really no solid answer to it, but we've been okay the last couple of years in vehicle maintenance.
Okay, thank you.
Ryan, I appreciate the work that you've done here, and coming in under last year's budget I know it's not a huge difference, but we appreciate your work trying to keep it in a pandemic with the EOC and partial activation, coming in with a budget that is under last year's budget is commendable. And we certainly appreciate that teamwork spirit from you, especially with all that you guys are doing with such a small team. But we hear compliments all the time about the work you're doing. I know we all appreciate the department and the work, and you being on call. It feels like 24/7. And this submission to us is much appreciated. And I just want to make sure you're aware of that and feel that appreciation.
And Ryan, looking at this and just with your explanation of the maintenance, it's like music to my ears, because I remember at once upon a time we were talking about thousands and thousands of dollars, and the fact that over the last couple of years that you've been able to take care of most of that still within a fairly reasonable budget is great. So I appreciate it as well.
I wouldn't say there wouldn't be a little bit of luck sprinkled in with that. We've been okay. We've already consolidated and parted ways with a lot of assets. So the F-250 to Charlestown, recently a trailer to Brimfield Township PD for their K9 unit. So we've parted ways with a lot of different things, and we're continuing to have those conversations. The Station 30 has always kind of been the elephant in the room, but with things keeping at bay and maintenance and safety inspections and partnerships with UH Portage, who actually replaced all our mass casualty equipment on our trailer, which is now staged down at Rootstown. We've been okay, and everybody's been kind of happy. So doesn't mean we don't have further conversations to have, but nonetheless, we're doing all right.
Good.
And I know we were looking at 6%, I believe, was in the original letter to look at budget reduction. If we come under again in maintenance, which I expect to, if we come under again in materials and supplies, we could be well under that or over that 6%, even further budget reduction. So I am poised. I do have some things drafted up in the event that I do need to do further reductions. So, and hopefully we do not, but obviously I want to be as prepared.
And Ryan, you're holding on the software for the moment, right?
I was not. So being so significantly far under budget in FY 2020, I wanted to get that procured on this grant and then worry about the annual subscription each year here on. So we were going to try to move forward with that before July 1. And even with procuring that, I'm projecting to be under budget $63,000 this year.
Okay.
Ryan, what is the annual maintenance on that software?
I believe it was right around $4,700.
Okay.
And there's a lot of lifting we got to do on our end to get everybody up to speed. I'll probably go to a Township Trustees Association meeting when we can, and at least give an overview. I think everybody's gonna be pretty excited to jump on board. I've also communicated with Chris Maduri on a policy because most of that app will be downloaded to personal phones and not government phones. So I want to make sure that we have all the education in the event there's a FOIA request for someone's personal phone. Make sure everybody's comfortable downloading it to personal phones. So I just want to make sure I have all my ducks in order before we do
Okay.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right. I
Ryan.
think we can move on. This is helpful, Ryan, and thanks again.
that. Okay,
Thank
you're
you,
welcome.
Ryan.
So would it be all right to prepare the budget as presented today and bring it back as a resolution next week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Have a
Thank
great day.
you. You too.
Hi,
too,
hi,
Ryan.
Ryan.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners approves the June 18, 2020 regular meeting minutes.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners acknowledge receipt of the June 16, 2020 certificate of the county auditor that the total appropriations from each fund do not exceed the official estimate resources for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2020, as presented by the Portage County Auditor's Office.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes. Jean, did you have anything in addition?
There was that one issue that I think was circulated relative to the Census Bureau wanting to use a portion
Yeah.
facility. I think there was some confusion. Mayor had talked with them, but they don't have a 7-story structure. So I think that's how we got involved with room 708, which is where I believe Amy's sitting right now. I think there's been some other communication since then. So I'm guessing that the issue is pretty much done from our perspective at this point, unless we get a comment back.
So,
Yeah.
so where are they meeting at? Because I was confused by that because they kept referencing Mayor Seaman. So where are
I think
they
it's
meeting at?
resolved. I contacted the Census Bureau and worked with
Cole?
Family and Community Services. Family and Community Services is happy to host them, and
Oh,
the Census
good.
Bureau is in touch with them. So I think that issue is
resolved. Okay.
Handled.
Well, no, July 1st.
Do you need anything else, Jean?
Nope, that's it. I'm just checking over my shoulder on my list and we're caught up. Thank you.
Okay, great. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, Amy?
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Amy and Jean.
Thank you. Right.